All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. Another installment of As the Journey Turns, brought to you by me, Dave, and that's it. No laundry detergent, no dishwashing liquid. The journey thing to me, though, now is starting to tick me off. And I'll tell you why. Because earlier this year, I was fooled, like many other people, into thinking that everything was fine. Everything was rosy. Everyone's working together, building a better journey for, the next 10 years and beyond. Who knows? These guys could just play for another 20 years, right? So, here's what was said back in February of this year by somebody very close to the situation who did an interview. And I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but the talking points were out there. And it wasn't just this interview, it was also Neil and John. And this is what was said. John and Neil, I think it was all about communication, having those guys sit down. With Michaela and Paula, actually, the wives helped out a lot. It was bringing them in and just going, guys, talk this out. So bringing the wives in, that's what helped mend the fences, right? Because it's too big, it's too beautiful, and it's too great, and we don't want to see it flushed down the toilet. Okay, now we've got Michaela and Paula, John's wife. It's all four of them. It's all four of them co-managing this band, and it's working. It's working. That's what this says. It's working. Now they're all co-managing, which to me opens up another big can of worms. If Paula and Michaela are all in on this, or both in on this, then are their names on the paperwork? I remember Neil talking about Paula signing checks or something. I don't want to say the word gold digger, but okay, I guess I just said it. Are these guys well? Are they okay? That's the first question to ask. Is Neil and John, are they okay? Are they like really smart with business? This doesn't sound good. Now, the only reason I bring this in is because it's being said here. And I did a video like, I can't believe these two are working together. I didn't think they liked one another. And by the way, I still think they don't like each other. And since this whole thing has gone down, I'm assuming that all of that stuff will come out again. But this was the narrative that the band wanted the world to believe. And that narrative, by the way, was fed to me with a couple of extra pounds of whatever, couple of extra loads of BS was fed along with it. This goes on. It's all four of them co-managing this band. They're getting along and they're working together. It's not one jet instead of two, or it's one jet instead of two. Sorry. They're running it like a business. That's what it should have been. There was a lot of turmoil in both camps and nobody was talking. So anyway, getting back to the airplane thing. So now it's an airplane and a bus right now. It's not two jets. And John is taking the bus. So he's the martyr for the ground transportation, and Neil Schon is up there with the rest of the band partying on the jet. Anyway, they're all talking and communicating. It's working great. So over and over again, you hear it's working great. It's running like a business. Best thing they could have done is brought the wives in. The communication is better. They're smart with money. Paula's a great businesswoman. Paula? Isn't Paula a preacher? So she's a great businesswoman. She's smart with money. Michaela is a person who's got the gift of gab. She's a people person. Oh, I could say something there, but I'm just going to refrain. We just do our jobs. We go out and play and it works, man. It's great. I've got to give all four of them credit. Okay, so this was February of 2024 when that came out. And we were at the beginning of this installment of Journey's Freedom Tour. Freedom from Reality Tour. They should call it the Freedom from Reality Tour. The freedom from having to like one another tour. So then there's another article that Kane and Sean did, I think with Billboard magazine. Kane says, just looking at the big picture, the music is louder than the noise of the grumbling and the arguments and the disagreements and stuff. Well, John, not right now. It's not. I would say the disagreements and the arguments and the grumbling and stuff is way louder than the music. The show must go on, right? Now, I had a friend who's a patron on this channel. He went to the show in Arlington, Texas last night. Said it was good. Said everybody did their job and it sounded good, except for the fact he believes that the band is possibly using some AI when it comes to vocals. Possibly. He can't confirm that, but there's a good chance that could be happening. And I don't know. I think it varies from show to show. You know, I listen to some shows and I have to say it's definitely live, because why would you produce a vocal that sounded like that? That's all I'm saying. And please don't get mad at me. I just listen to things and I make judgments. I know I'm not supposed to judge anything. Judge not, lest ye be judged, right? So no judging. It's just the drive of knowing that there are fans out there that don't care about our differences. This is after John talks about the show must go on. That there are fans out there that just don't care about our differences. True. Those are what we call casual fans. There are old school, old time fans. Those are the ones buying a lot of these tickets who do care about the differences and recognize that chemistry tends to make for a better concert. People who like one another tend to work better together. Not rocket science. But anyway, he goes on to say they care that we carry on. So we've got to put aside our differences for them. Now, has the band put aside their differences? And what's interesting about this paragraph is that Jonathan Cain is the one who brought this lawsuit. Now, he's basically looking for an intermediary to oversee everything. How's that working out so far? We don't know, because now we've got Neal Schon saying everything is a lie and I will prove it to you. All right. I'm eager to see what Neal has to say. I really am. So Neal Schon chimes in here and he says, yes, it's like myself, my wife, Jonathan, and his wife, when asked about if the band is managing itself these days. You know, I think Irving Azoff should have been on speed dial here. He just, whether you like him or not, Don Henley was right. You know, some people think he's Satan, but he's our Satan. That's what Don Henley said about Irving Azoff. It comes down to how much you understand what your situation is about. It's kind of a word salad there. Kind of sounded like something Kamala Harris would say. It comes down to how much you understand what your situation is about. I read it a second time. It still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. He says here, I would tell a young player, young musician, I guess, get involved in the business. Know what's going down with the contracts. Understand it. Trademark yourself. Trademarking, I don't know. Trademarking yourself isn't the most important thing to do right away. Having something good to trademark, that might be important. If something shady comes by, know what question to ask. It took a long time to learn all that, but I'm happy we have. So these guys are in their 70s, stuff they probably should have learned, I don't know, about 40 years ago. I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm thinking 40, right? So Sean agrees. He doesn't say anything here about how great it's all going. Neither does Kane. Kane, if you notice here, doesn't say everything is great. just says the music is louder than the noise of the grumbling and the disagreements. So nothing really got fixed, but we were all made to think it got fixed. That first article I read from back from February, everybody's great. The communication, it all works. It's great. I've got to hand it to them. They're doing an amazing job. Paula's a great businesswoman, and Michaela has the gift of gab. And, it's going to be great. And here we are just a few months later, and everything's gone to hell, right? That's the truth. So I think this is the biggest fraud that you could possibly foist upon the people who are buying tickets, to tell everybody up front, yeah, we're getting along good. The music is bigger than anything that we're disagreeing about. And then come along and say, yeah, we're almost bankrupt. We're almost broke. We can't pay our bills. And this is all on John. So if John can't prove any of this stuff, he's not going to look good. So for his own sake, for his own integrity and reputation, because he says in the filing that the band's reputation is on the line. Well, his reputation is really on the line. If I were him, I probably would have waited until the end of the tour to do this stuff. However, maybe things are so bad that they might not be able to complete the tour. Remember, the promoter, I think it's AEG or AGE or something like that, they canceled all of those UK shows. And people were saying, well, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the UK right now. They're arresting people in the UK for posting something disagreeable with what the government is telling people to think. 1984 much? I mean, wow. Anyway, sorry about that little tangent, but there may have been something to the fact that there's a lot of turmoil over there, and the promoter didn't want to go forward with that, or the promoter knows more than the rest of us know. That's what I'm thinking. So the promoter probably was asking some financial questions, and they concluded that having Journey make this leg of their tour was maybe not a good idea. Was not going to benefit anyone financially. So we shall see as the journey turns, but I'm saying Journey has committed fraud in a fairly big way. Yes, it's admirable. It's commendable that you tried to keep the thing together. But I would say this, I think fans would appreciate honesty. If Neil and John just can't work together anymore, just kill it, break it up. The problem is that this is the golden calf. Journey is a golden calf. And Jonathan Cain, who I think understands that better than Neil Schon, should know better that this is not worth all of the effort. Okay, just let it go. If it's going to go down the tubes, it was meant to go down the tubes. Journey was never formed to glorify God or anything, even though that's been a question mark over the last few years, with songs taking on new meanings and people going to the Jim Bakker show and stuff like that, which to me is sacrilegious on both ends. Don't bring that song to Jim Bakker. Don't bring that song to his audience. It's not a Christian song, number one. And number two, Jim Bakker show? No. Come on. But that's old news. I'm sure if you've seen what I'm talking about, you understand. If you haven't, then you should look up Jim Bakker show, Don't Stop Believing, right? And I'm not saying that that's the worst of everything here. The worst is what's going on now, and then telling the fans at the beginning that everything is fine and everyone's working together and we're building a better Journey for the future and it's going to be great. We have a new song. Just a few weeks ago, Cain was talking about, we got a new song coming out. It's like the old days. And then Arnell, he's singing better than he's ever sung before. And I have nothing against Arnell. I have nothing against John. This isn't about the members. This is about the truth. This isn't the truth. You're not getting the truth. In fact, this is all fraud. Okay. And you could keep buying tickets. I know people will want to see this band no matter what I say. No matter what I say, people are going to go. There are casual fans that will pay big money to take this right off their bucket list and say, yep, saw Journey do Don't Stop Believing. I don't know. Did you? Who was singing? What vocal was on that? You know, maybe they were playing it from the stage. We don't know. Probably, mostly. But anyway, folks, fraud is not a good thing. Okay, it's a bad thing, and I don't think rock bands should do it. And moving forward, with a lot of these older rock bands, not just with their interpersonal stuff, but with the way they present the music, that's going to be increasingly more difficult to figure out as time goes on. I mean, is it really them? You know, the old commercial, is it live or is it Memorex? I think we're going to find that Memorex is so good that you're not going to know. All right. So anyway, folks, that's my video. God bless you all. Honestly, if you're going to patronize this, then you're going to perpetuate it. Not me. Okay. Please patronize me because I need to be perpetuated. But if you're going to go see this band in concert and you're going to give the okay and you're going to say this is great, then all this stuff will continue. And they'll know that they can pretty much behave in any way and not ruin their reputation with certain people. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon.